Hey everyone, I'm alive. The sky did not end up falling. I just want to come on to start answering questions from the question box that I put up last night. So, just as a reminder, none of what I'm about to say is medical advice, so always talk to your healthcare provider before making any changes to your healthcare routine. Let's begin. How to support liver and digestion during pregnancy. So, here are a few quick tips that work for literally everyone, as well as during pregnancy. So, 1, sit down. 2, don't drink too much water at meals, so limit it to 8 ounces if you can. 5, get enough salt. So this is really important for digestion, especially the chloride component. 6, make sure you're hydrating properly. Digestion is a water-loving process. It requires a lot of water and hydration. So make sure you're drinking mineralized water, not hungry water. 7, make sure you're getting enough fiber, the right kinds of fiber for you, the right amount of fiber for you. Everyone is different. And 8, you can explore pregnancy safe bitters. I think Urban Moonshine has these. Best way to get high minerals when pregnant and nauseous. So when you're pregnant and nauseous, I would just try to worry about maintaining minerals. So this will vary depending on the person and their tolerance for, water, food, etc. I would probably invest in high quality mineral drops. I love Mitigate Stress's dropper, and I would just try to bathe myself in as many minerals as possible. So magnesium baths, baking soda baths, etc., foot baths, and magnesium chloride oil or magnesium chloride lotions. Your thoughts on Shilajit? I love it. It's used in Ayurveda. It's really incredibly minerally rich. The only thing that you should be aware of is that it can potentially cause a detoxifying reaction because of all the minerals in it. It can be like turning the lights on after being in the dark for a really long time and your body's like, so just keep that in mind. But generally speaking, not many people have that reaction, so I wouldn't worry about it. And also, if you are thinking about taking it and you are pregnant already, if you are already pregnant and thinking about taking Shilajit for the first time, I would probably not, just because of that detoxifying reaction that could potentially happen. But otherwise, it's really amazing. I love it, and these are my 2 favorite brands. Is it still okay to have raw milk when pregnant? So if you were drinking it before pregnancy, it's going to be much easier to continue it during pregnancy, but it's really up to you to figure out what your risk tolerance is. So I have a post on a bunch of risky foods, quote unquote, with some stats, so you can take a look at these, do your own research, and decide for yourself. Pregnant nauseous can't eat much, anything to focus on specifically. So I'm sorry to hear you're going through that. That's tough. I would definitely focus on balancing my blood sugar as much as possible whenever I ate. I would also try to eat tiny meals, maybe every hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on what you could stomach. Maybe build up to that just to try to get your blood sugar stable. What's happening in the first trimester, and actually generally the first half of pregnancy, the body is anabolic. So it's building. The metabolism is super, super fast, super high, and we may be feeling nauseous because we're not supporting that change in metabolism. Fueling with tiny meals very frequently, it's providing a constant fuel line for your body to support that anabolism without eating so much at once that you feel even more nauseous. Of course, sickness, morning sickness, and there are literally so many potential factors that it's impossible to talk about them all in one short video. But I would try that first and see if that helps. That usually changes a lot for a lot of people. Leg cramping, Charlie horse, can those be caused by a mineral deficiency? So yes, they can be. And if you're pregnant and experiencing them, I'm sorry. If you're experiencing them at all, it sucks. Usually it's an electrolyte imbalance. I would look at, depending on when you're experiencing them, if it's during the day after activity, it's probably potassium. I would take a look at my potassium sources post. And if it's at night, it's probably magnesium. So take a look at my post on magnesium as well, and good luck. What would nausea around ovulation be caused by? I would check out my post on Mittelschmerz for more information. Best way to make aloe juice not taste bad. What should I mix it with? So this is a funny question. Some people don't like the taste of aloe. I do. So, I don't mind it. So I mix it with OJ. I mix it with blueberry juice, pomegranate. Mix it with whatever juice I have on hand, except for coconut water. But I feel like, it's really just dependent on what you prefer, your palate. I could also see you infusing aloe juice with like raspberries or mint and cucumber and some honey. Like, you know, I would maybe go the more mocktail route instead of juices and see how that goes. The top 10 foods pregnant women should be having. I talk about all of those foods in the fertility foods lesson in module 4 of conscious conception. So definitely check it out if you haven't already. Ascorbic acid, can you please remind me again why we should avoid it? So yes, I'll post the post on this in the next slide after I'm done talking. But ascorbic acid is essentially the outer shell of the sea. So when we consume ascorbic acid, especially in high amounts, the ascorbic acid will look to complete itself with the other components that should be there in the complex that is vitamin, depleting us of the components that should be in the complex but are not. So I would definitely check out the post on the next slide. Is it possible to get 400 micrograms of folate from diet alone? Seems hard, thank you. It's very possible. It's not as hard as one might think. I explain exactly how to do this in Conscious Conception in Module 4. Are there any magnesium supplements you'd recommend? Yes, I have a couple, topical and oral. You can check them out. They're mostly from Mitigate Stress. I love their products. They're really high quality, but you can check out this other post that I have. I'll put it on the next slide. Where do you recommend someone go to find a midwife in their area? I'm having trouble. So I would try to talk to people in your network, maybe join a mother's or pregnancy local Facebook group or something like that. Someone being able to tell you their direct experience with a midwife is invaluable. It's going to be way more valuable than a review online. That said, you can also try to Google in your area midwives and see what their reviews are as well. There's also midwife.org, and you can use their midwife finder. Advice on how to get midwife on board with drinking OJ says it's sugar poison. So you can always find a new midwife, but just keep in mind that midwives aren't trained in nutrition necessarily, so that's not going to be their area of expertise. And you don't always have to implement every single thing that they say. You can choose to do what you will with the information that they give you. So just know that you do have the power in your control. Okay, everyone, that's all I have time for today. I have to go make dinner, but I will save this as an IGTV as well for those of you that do like to watch IGTVs, and I will try to have another Q&A next week. So thanks again for the amazing questions, and thanks for tuning in. Bye.